Very good day to you. It's the Java guy. I'm here in Berlin for We Are Developers World Congress, and I have an excellent guest today. It's Tom Wheeler from Temporal. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Thanks for accepting this call for the interview. So Tom just did a 2-hour workshop on Temporal and benefits that it gives us, Java developers, especially this crash-proof execution. Is it right, Tom?
That's right, yeah. What we call durable execution is crash-proof execution. It allows your applications to be able to withstand a crash. It can't prevent one, but it can prevent it from being catastrophic to your application. So with Temporal, your application is able to withstand a crash, which could occur because of an unhandled exception, or maybe a bug in the operating system, or the Java runtime, or a library that you're using, a power outage, a hardware failure. Lots of things could cause the process where your application is running to terminate prematurely. And when that happens, all the values of the variables get reset. Any progress that you've made suddenly disappears. And with Temporal, that doesn't happen. Your application doesn't repeat steps that were previously completed. It remembers the state of all the variables, all the threads, all the coroutines. Everything is set exactly as it was before the crash, and your application continues on from there. So from the perspective of a developer, it's like the crash never even happened.
It sounds almost like magic, I would say.
Yes.
But it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it sounds too good to be true, and when I first learned of it, I thought the same. And then I spent a couple days trying to break it, and I was unable to, so I joined the company instead. And yeah, so the way that it works is based on technology that has been in development by our co-founders when they were at AWS, Microsoft, Uber, and now it's open source and available to the entire world, so anybody can use it.
So it's completely free to use? Even for, say, company use?
Even for commercial use, yeah.
For commercial use, yeah. But you, of course, offer Temporal Cloud, which makes it easier to use, so to say.
Exactly. A lot of developers want to write code, but they don't want to be responsible for maintaining a mission-critical service. And so for people that don't want to host the Temporal service themselves, they can opt to use Temporal Cloud, which is our fully managed cloud service. And in this case, the Temporal service is run by the people who know it best. You have the people who wrote the code are the ones that are supporting it and operating that service. You get high performance, really good security, and most importantly, experts that you can count on to help you anytime you have a problem.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you also support 7 or 8 programming languages, exactly. Java being one of them, of course.
Definitely. Go, Java, TypeScript, Python, PHP, .NET, Ruby, and now Rust is on the way. I hope I didn't leave one out.
Yeah, definitely Rust is one of the most popular languages.
Exactly, and
years,
the Rust SDK is one that the community has wanted for a very long time, and we recognize that need, and now it's under development. So we expect it's right now in development, but available for people to use, and we expect it to be GA before too long.
Nice. So maybe in a few sentences, you can tell what that changes for us application developers, or how we must change our way of writing code so that it can work with Temporal.
Well, what Temporal does is it takes a lot of the complexity in your application, specifically the stuff to do with error detection, mitigation, crash recovery, failure handling. It takes all of that out of your application and it pushes down into the platform. So suddenly you don't have to write nearly as much code. Your application code becomes much more straightforward, easier to understand, easier to maintain, and you're able to develop applications faster because you don't have to write that code. So not only do you get reliability, but you also find yourself being a more productive developer.
Nice. And for that, we have to learn at least 3 new concepts that Temporal offers: workflow, activity, and worker.
That's right. Workflows are typically what orchestrate your code, so that would define the sequence of steps that you want to carry out. If you're processing an online order, for example, the steps might be charge the customer's credit card, reserve the items in inventory, send a confirmation email, prepare the shipping label and ship the box out to the customer. So those might be the steps. Activities are the ones that actually carry out those individual operations. That's where you would call the payment service. That's where you would make a request to the inventory service to reserve the items in inventory. You might query a database or interact with an LLM from within an activity. So anytime you have error-prone steps, anything that could fail, you put that code in an activity, and Temporal will automatically retry those calls if they do fail. So if you face an outage in a service or a network outage, for example, it'll automatically retry that call until it finally succeeds. So from your perspective as a developer, you don't have to worry about it. Temporal is going to take care of that automatically, so you no longer have to. And then the final thing is the worker. The worker is what runs the workflow and activity code. It's part of your application, and the workers provide resiliency for your application, because you can run multiple workers, and if one of them fails, then the others take over for it automatically. So running more workers gives your application higher availability and more throughput to be able to handle more workflows and activities.
That all sounds really, really nice. So I would say much less code that we have to write, less boring code, plumbing, and focus more on business logic.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Temporal allows you to focus on the happy path. And so all of a sudden your programs that you're writing, they become much more clear, much more straightforward, easier to understand. It takes less time to write them. And the other developers on your team can finally understand what the code does, because it's not cluttered with error handling and failure detection and crash recovery and things like that. It makes your business logic stand out, and it's really just helps developer productivity.
Great, and we know business logic is where the money is made, so
exactly.
Let's focus on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, thank you so much. It was
pleasure.
Really nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, I hope that we have piqued your interest. Of course, I will leave much more info in the comments below or in the description, links to Temporal website, maybe some other videos that go into more technical details. And with that said, I hope you have enjoyed this one. The Java Guy salutes you.